On OSRC News at 7, Ondo State Government presents 25 operational vehicles to security agencies. Governor Ayedatiwa assures of proper utilization of TED fund expenditure. Federal government set to distribute 2,700 tons of fertilizer nationwide. And from the foreign scene, Ukraine airstrike kills 5 in Russian regions. Good evening and welcome. Thank you for joining us on the OSRC News at 7. I am Obi Chukwemeka Uti. Ondo State Governor Lucky Ayedatiwa says presentation of 25 Toyota Hilux vehicles to security agencies in the state to assist in the discharge of their duties is a testament to his administration's commitment to strengthening the security architecture of the state. Governor Ayedatiwa at the presentation ceremony in Akure acknowledged the efforts of late Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu to secure the state, especially his leading role in the birth of the Southwest Security Network, Amotekun Corps. Ayedatiwa emphasized the need for all security stakeholders and state actors to work together for the ultimate goal of securing lives and property, notwithstanding the differences in security approaches and modus operandi. Wahab Bankole has the rest of the story.
The most important function of any government is to ensure the safety of lives and property of the people towards promoting overall growth and development. And this event, which is the presentation of 25 Toyota Hilux vehicles to security agencies in Ondo State, is a testament to the commitment of the Ayedatiwa administration to further strengthen the security architecture of the state.
I welcome into the arena the Governor of Ondo State, His Excellency Lucky Orimiso Ayedatiwa.
In his address of welcome, the Secretary to the State Government, Mr. Tayo Oluwatuyi, emphasized the commitment of the present administration to enhancing the efficiency of security agencies in the state.
Insecurity has become a recurring problem that threatens the well-being of citizens. However, it is my pleasure to let you know that the present government will not relent in its resolve to rid the state of crimes.
Governor Lucky Ayedatiwa, who renewed his determination to rid the state of crime, said his administration will not shirk its responsibility of protecting the lives and property of inhabitants of the state.
This government, under my leadership, thought it imperative to make available these high-grade Toyota Hilux vehicles with a view to engendering excellent performance in the discharge of their security mandate to our people. We will not relent in creating a secure and prosperous environment for all of you.
The governor, who called for more synergy among all security agencies in the state, said his administration will always strive to provide safe, conducive and crime-free environment towards promoting economic growth and well-being of the people.
I want to say emphatically that our administration will continue to support the security agencies in the discharge of their duties as we place premium on the safety of lives and property of our people.
High point of the event was the official presentation of the 25 Hilux vehicles to security agencies in the state.
In the name of the Father, Amen. Of the Son, Amen. And of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
The Senior Special Assistant to Governor Ayedatiwa on Security, Mr. Gbenga Atiba, and the State Commissioner of Police, Mr. Abayomi Oladipo, thanked Governor Ayedatiwa for his dedication to improve the security architecture of the state. In an interview, the State Commandant of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, Oluyemi Ibiloye, applauded the governor for the giant stride.
We intend to deploy these vehicles to also curb all forms of security menace that we have within and around the state.
Wahab Bankole, Osrc News.
Meanwhile, towards promoting tertiary education in Nigeria, the federal government has been commended for making the Tertiary Education Trust Fund (TED Fund's capital expenditure available to tertiary institutions in the country. Ondo State Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa, while receiving the House of Representatives Committee on TED Fund at his office in Akure, said the impact of the intervention is enormous. Aiyedatiwa, who reaffirmed his administration's commitment to education development at all levels, hailed President Bola Tinubu for advancing the sector. Government House correspondent Wahab Bankole again has details.
Members of the House of Representatives Technical Committee on Tertiary Education Trust Fund (TED Fund) were led to the governor's office by the chairman, Princess Miriam Onoha. The visitors applauded the present administration in the state for its strides to advance tertiary education. Princess Onoha said the committee is determined to assist states to access the 500 billion naira domicile fund to improve funding of the sector.
TED Fund projects are always tied to these 12 lines of interventions, which I'll read out shortly: physical infrastructure, entrepreneurship, project maintenance, ICT support, library development, academic staff training and development, institution-based research, publication of journal, conference attendance, manuscript development, equipment fabrication, and teaching practice. So these funds here, once committed to a particular line item, has to be with strict compliance to this very line item. But for the purpose of this accumulated, unspent, unassessed funds, the committee would have a level of maneuvering to retweak and ensure that we can commit and pull these funds into the school accounts, and also ensure that once resident with you, they will be deployed accordingly with the new designs that we have done.
Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa, who hailed President Bola Tinubu for his timely intervention in transforming the nation's education sector, assured that tertiary institutions in the state will be accountable while accessing the fund.
What you are doing now is like helping us, helping our institution to access what they're supposed to have gotten and they were unable to access for one reason or the other. I want to thank you for this initiative. And you said this is the first time this kind of committee will be put in place to look for a way to access highly fund that have been provided for in the budget to support the institution, our tertiary institution. And for what I got from that was that for those who appropriated the fund, they have that belief that that fund is needed for the development of our institutions. And if they are unable to access them, definitely it will affect the institution one way or the other.
The governor restated his passion to sustain and improve efforts that promote educational development at all levels and promised adequate cooperation of tertiary institutions in the state towards ensuring a successful assignment.
Conditions, some of them are stringent, which have deprived them one way or the other from accessing those funds. I know by the time you'll be through with the assessment, the report from the field, from various institutions, you'll be able to put a measure in place where some of these stringent conditions can be amended and restructured so that the institution can have access. And I want to assure you that our institutions, they will cooperate with you fully. Even the one they have access, and trust them. If you want to know how they have spent it, they will bring out the books. You will see them.
In an interview, a member of the committee representing Agogo Northeast and Northwest Federal Constituency in the House of Representatives, Ife Ehindero, said plans have been concluded to ease the process of accessing the funds.
The purpose of the visit is to ensure that the unaccessed funds that is domiciled at the CBN for TET Fund for the institutions in Ondo State, which the technical committee is to fast-track the access to these funds so that the funds can be put to good use, to help to develop ICT, to help to develop the infrastructure, to help with academic staff training and development, and other things that are supposed to be domiciled or that are supposed to help to improve our tertiary institutions.
The House of Reps Technical Committee on TET Fund is on oversight visit to Ondo State to discuss the unassessed intervention from 2017 to 2023. Wahab Bankole, Osrc News.
Staying with the executive, but now at the national level, President Bola Tinubu has sworn in 8 federal permanent secretaries who were recently appointed to fill existing and impending vacant state and regional spaces. The swearing-in ceremony was performed before the commencement of the Federal Executive Council FEC meeting at the Presidential Villa, Abuja. Just before the commencement of the proceedings, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Senator George Akume, had announced earlier that the FEC meeting will be divided into 2 segments, the swearing-in of the new permanent secretaries and the council meeting. President Tinubu, who congratulated the new permanent secretaries, urged them to use their wealth of experience towards effective service. In the meantime, as part of efforts to address the food crisis in the country, the federal government is sending 60 trucks of fertilizer to each of the states of the federation. Each of the 109 senators will also receive 2 trucks of fertilizer for distribution to farmers in their constituents, while the 360 members of the House of Representatives will get 1 truck each to distribute in their constituencies. This was observed at plenary, where the Senate called on the federal government to expedite action on the fertilizer distribution. The call followed a motion moved by Senator Sunday Karimi, representing Kogi West, and co-sponsored by Senator Aline Dume of Borno South. Karimi further noted that the latest data released by Nigeria's National Bureau of Statistics showed that food inflation in the country skyrocketed to 40.66% on a year-on-year basis, a significant increase from the 24.82% recorded in May 2023. And the federal government is set to establish mobile courts to address issues related to sexual harassment. The announcement was made by the Minister of Women Affairs, Mrs. Uju Kennedy Ohanenye, during a one-day national stakeholders engagement on sexual harassment prevention in Abuja. The minister expressed concern over high rates of sexual harassment, particularly in tertiary institutions across the country, and emphasized that new measures are being implemented to tackle the issue. She urged stakeholders to address sexual harassment vigorously to minimize the stigmatization and low self-esteem among victims. You are watching the news at 7, coming to you live from Osrc TV. We'll go on a break now. When we return, we'll serve you more stories. Don't go away. Thank you for rejoining us. You can also watch us live on our website www.osrc.ng, and on YouTube you can subscribe to our channel Osrc TV Ondo. Now to the rest of the news. As part of activities lined up for the 2024 Isikon Day celebration, the Ralepo Oba Oluwagbemiga Olofin Adimola has paid a visit to Ondo State Radio Vision Corporation. The Isikon monarch, who led the Ralepo in council to the headquarters of the state-owned broadcast outfit, appreciated staff and management for making their platforms a reliable source for accurate information and promotion of indigenous culture. Osrc Said Aribisala reports that Oba Oluwagbemiga Olofin Adimola was received by the chairman, Mr. Kunle Adebayo, and his team.
It's a grand arrival of the Ralepo in Council to the headquarters of Ondo State Radio Vision Corporation. The visit of the monarch, Oba Oluwagbemiga Ojo Aruwolase III, and his retinue of chiefs, as well as his cabinet members, marked an epical moment for the state-owned stations. Oba Oluwagbemiga Ojo exchanged pleasantries with the chairman OSRC and went on to commend the leadership and staff of the corporation for quality broadcasting. The Ralepo said the position of OSRC to propagating cultural values and development contributed to his decision to visit and inform the management of the 2-week-long activities for Isikon Day 2024.
Information is power, and if you don't give correct information, people might be misled. But this organization has been doing their best in doing what is right by giving correct information to the people. We came to commend them and to intimidate them about their plans for the forthcoming Isikon Day that will be coming up on the 20th day. Majorly.
OSRC chairman Kunle Adebayo described the royal visit as commendable, appreciating the monarch and the Isikon people for supporting Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa's development initiatives.
It's the first royal visit of any monarch to our facilities in the last 7 years. Any monarch of a first-class standing, and it came with the full paraphernalia of this tour. And so we felt very happy, very excited to have received that caliber of royal father who has come to say thank you to us, who has come to appreciate our service to the community, who has come to thank us and to show solidarity with us for the works that this corporation is doing in service of the people of Ondo State. We think we are excited. And we believe it's a big part at the back for us to do even more.
After the boardroom engagement, Mr. Adebayo conducted the Ralepo in Council to the studio of Orange 94.5 FM, where the monarch featured on the program.
I want to use this medium to invite all sons and daughters of Isikon, both and diasporas and at home, to come home their numbers to partake in this very special event. You know, it will not come up every year. It's once in 3 years.
Oba Oluwagbemiga Ojo also visited the Sunshine 96.5 FM studio, where he spoke on how Isikon came to be.
Isikon jẹ́ ìlú tí Ọlọ́run fún rẹ̀ tó dá sí orílẹ̀-èdè ayé. Oníkọ̀ ẹni tó dá Isikon sílẹ̀ náà pè ní ọ̀bàrà. Ọ̀bàrà yìí awo ni lóde ọ̀run.
Isikon Day 2024 will feature health outreach, empowerment of indigents, celebration of individuals who have contributed to the town's development, among others. Sahid Aribisala, OSRC News.
Ondo State Primary Healthcare Development Agency has advised residents of Akure against exposing themselves to the present harsh weather conditions to avoid contracting diseases. The Director, Medical Laboratory Services, Ondo State Primary Healthcare Development Agency, Dr. Bankole Adeyemi, made the plea while speaking with OSRC reporter in Akure. Tosin Adebowale has more.
Down-near daily temperature has been relatively low in Akure, the state capital, for the past couple weeks, despite scattered downpours. This usually comes with cold, catarrh, pneumonia, diarrhea, malaria, and waterborne diseases, which are illnesses associated with the rainy season. A medical expert, Dr. Bankole Adeyemi, highlights the diseases associated with the cold weather, encouraging residents to invest in durable and portable rain gear.
Pneumonia is caused by a bacteria, which is very, very delicate if you get to the wrong part of the body. And even though it's curable, but the mortality rate from it is sometimes very, very high. Sometimes if it is, there's tendency to leave many food uncovered. So cholera is another disease that we need to watch out for, and which can be prevented with good personal hygiene, keeping our food covered, warm your food, don't give your family cold food. When they are going to school in the morning, make sure their food are warm. Time like this, we have catarrh caused by catarrhella, which is very, very rampant. Cold, normal fluid. You also need to avoid damp area, take fresh air, and make your room ventilated. This is time to watch what your children wear, what you wear, what your teenagers are wearing. This is not the time for them to do copycat because they want to look like their friend in school. They must put on good clothes.
Dr. Bankole Adeyemi, while speaking on preventive measures, also implored residents to make sure there's no stagnation of rainwater as the puddle will encourage breeding of mosquitoes.
There is continuous rainfall, bushes are growing up, and this also constitutes breeding place for malaria parasite, for mosquito, which normally transmit malaria parasite. So you want to keep your bush around your house, around your vicinity down, keep them low, or you remove them at a time like this. Avoid stagnant water. You know, mosquito is not only malaria they transmit, we have different type of mosquito that transmit other type of fever, which could constitute significant damage to the family. So you do a lot of good to your family and to yourself when you keep your house free from mosquito breeding space.
It is the rainy season, and diseases associated with attendant cold weather can be prevented by adhering to the preventive measures. Tosi Adeboale, OSRC News.
The People's Democratic Party (PDP) National Working Committee has suspended its National Vice Chairman South Dan Obi for his involvement in sabotaging the party's effort in Edo State. The PDP Edo State chapter has been dealing with internal conflicts since the governorship primary election on February 22, 2024, which resulted in Asue Godado becoming the governorship candidate. As a result, dissatisfied party members took the party to court. Last week, Justice Inyang Ekwo invalidated the primary in a judgment which contested the exclusion of 378 delegates. In a statement released by its National Publicity Secretary, Debo Ologwagba, the PDP explained that Obi's actions and comments regarding the Edo State governorship primary election are not in line with the party's constitution. Ologwagba revealed that the National Working Committee has established a 6-member committee led by Deputy National Chairman South, Ambassador Taufik Arapaja, to investigate Obi. The management of the Nigerian Education Loan Fund says 12 state government-owned tertiary institutions have been onboarded to the student loan application pool. According to the public relations of the fund, Nasir Ayitogo, the onboarding The House of Representatives has threatened to withhold the annual budgetary appropriation of the 6 area councils in the FCT for failing to honor the invitation of relevant standing committees. The resolution followed the refusal of the chairman of the area council to appear before the joint House committees on FCT area councils and ancillary matters. The lawmakers who resolved to summon the FCT Minister of State and chairman of the 6 FCT area councils mandated them to appear before the joint committees on Tuesday next week. The chairman of the committee, Frederick Agbedi, maintained that the failure to appear was unacceptable. Moving now to the foreign scene, Ukraine attacks in southern Russia have killed at least 5 people. They follow a series of Russian strikes on Monday that killed at least 44 people in Ukraine and destroyed a children's hospital. Sheung Adetola has details.
The fire at this oil depot could be seen from several kilometers away in the Volgograd region of southern Russia. 2 power substations burning near the neighboring city of Rostov. These strikes inside Russia's territory came after Moscow launched a barrage of missiles on Ukrainian cities, killing dozens. The capital Kyiv shaking as this happens, and missile hitting the country's most important pediatric hospital.
It's the biggest hospital in Ukraine. We have 720 beds, and in a time when was attacked, in hospital was around 675, around like that.
Moscow reiterated it doesn't target civilian infrastructure and that it was a Ukrainian defensive missile which destroyed the hospital. The United Nations envoy disagreed.
Analysis of the video footage and assessment made at the incident site indicates a high likelihood that the Children's Hospital suffered a direct hit rather than receiving damages due to an intercepted weapon system.
And in Russian-annexed Crimea, which has been a step away from the war resorts, are building bomb shelters right at the beaches. Last month, 4 people, including 2 children, were killed in a Ukrainian strike on a beach.
With everything that's been happening recently, yes, I'd say having shelters here makes sense.
As rescue workers continue cleanup operations in both countries, NATO is holding a summit in Washington saying it will continue to arm Ukraine. Sheun Adetola, Osrc News.
To round off the Osrc News at 7, here again are the major stories. Ondo State Government has presented 25 operational vehicles to security agencies to boost the security architecture of the state. We told you that Governor Aiyedatiwa has assured of proper utilization of TED Fund capital expenditure towards providing qualitative education in the state. We also brought you a report that federal government is set to distribute 2,700 trucks of fertilizers across the country. And from the foreign scene, Ukraine airstrike has killed 5 persons in Russian regions. And that's the news at 7. Thank you very much for being a part of it. Good evening.